Is LinkedIn joining the movement of online social media to influence its users towards social justice causes? Hello again. This could be an overreaction by me, but just hear me out. Anybody who pays attention to these kinds of issues, you know that various social media platforms have been directly influencing what we see. They shadow ban people strictly for having a conservative viewpoint, and they push liberal agendas all over YouTube, Twitter, Google, etc. Those same social medias listed, in addition to many others, have been banning or blocking users from their sites that they just don't necessarily align with the corporate cultural viewpoint, primarily, meaning liberal-focused agendas. We all know that the government is looking into these activities, but in the meanwhile, we've been wondering, who's next? What other platforms are going to be affected, and people will start seeing changes in. And now it's possible that now LinkedIn is the next site to begin pushing the agenda of social justice. So I have a LinkedIn page, and for those of you who don't know, LinkedIn is basically like Facebook for business professionals. Some people like myself use it for recruiting, marketing, sales. It has a feed just like Facebook, and often random topics, articles will appear, usually based on posts that you've liked or shared, etc. I am on LinkedIn a lot. So I have about 16,000 direct connections, and I am pretty up to date on all the latest site enhancements. And recently, I noticed that my feed wasn't showing me as many topics based on things that I'm generally looking at, things that I'm interested in, like new technologies, healthcare reform, medical breakthroughs. In general, those are the types of things that I will sit down and read, or I'm always interested in hearing about. Now I'd say in the last couple weeks, I've slowly started seeing more articles from the New York Times, Washington Post, primarily about socially related happenings. Example, any articles where, the general buzzword topic is something like racism or sexism, and just been wondering why so much of that has been appearing on my page. So I go into my feed settings, and lo and behold, there is a new option where tags can be directly updated. And to my surprise, I have several tags that have been automatically assigned to me. The tags in question that I just was surprised to see were hashtag women in science, hashtag professional women, hashtag gender, hashtag feminism, hashtag women in politics, hashtag pay gap. I know these were actually given to me because I don't actually follow any hashtags. I find that my network alone provides me with enough input and interesting reading. So while I don't have any, I'm not saying I have any specific issues with these subjects alone, I just find it interesting how they were suddenly a part of my profile. I asked some friends of mine, both men and women, who I know are pretty active on the site, and they said that while they didn't necessarily notice the change, when they went into their feed settings, they said that the same exact tags were listed in their profiles, and they all responded that they never manually added any of these tags to their profiles. So, like I said, could be overreacting, could be nothing at all, but just kind of interesting. Yes, I was able to go in and delete all those hashtags. I will certainly check back in a week or so and see if they're still there, or see if anything new's been added, and see if my feed gets updated. But just if you have a LinkedIn page, just beware. You might not be seeing the things that you are actually looking to see. And these sites, there's nothing wrong with being, suggested pages or articles and things like that, based on what you're looking for. But there's definitely a problem when they're just shoving certain things in front of you. It's not the responsibility of these sites to manipulate your mind, and try to push a certain agenda with you, because they're certainly not what they claim to do. If you ask any representatives from these platforms, they all will say the same thing. No, they're very, they're not one-sided at all. They're not trying to. They're trying to share as much information as possible with, no biases of any kind. And yet, again and again and again, we just kind of see that evidence out there online. So LinkedIn, you may be linked now to these other pages that are under so much fire from the general public and now the government as well. So, all right, that's it for today. Have a wonderful one.